The theater went silent before a single note was sung, the kind of silence that feels heavy, the kind that presses against your chest and makes you lean closer to the screen without even realizing it. A thin boy stood alone under the blazing lights, fingers trembling around a worn guitar, eyes searching the judge's table as if asking a question he was too afraid to speak out loud. In that moment, nobody knew that what was about to happen would leave grown adults in tears and millions of hearts changed forever. His name was Miguel Santos, a 15-year-old boy from a small coastal village in the Philippines, where the ocean gives more than it takes, and dreams often drift away before they ever reach shore. Miguel had grown up in a tiny wooden house with a rusted tin roof that sang louder than any radio when it rained. His father had been a fisherman who never returned from the sea, and his mother worked long hours cleaning houses just to keep food on the table. Music was never a plan, it was an escape. When the nights were long and the electricity went out, Miguel would sit by the window with his old guitar, strumming softly so he wouldn't wake his younger sister, pretending the world was bigger than the four walls closing in around him. The guitar itself had a story. It once belonged to a tourist who had visited their village years ago and left it behind when the string snapped. Miguel found it in a corner of a storage shed, cracked and dusty, but to him it looked like treasure. He taught himself to play by watching videos whenever he could borrow a neighbor's phone, replaying the same clips again and again until his fingers ached and bled. One song stayed with him more than any other, Hotel California. He didn't fully understand every lyric at first, but the melody felt like a road leading somewhere far away, a place where pain could turn into something beautiful. When Miguel's friends heard auditions for America's Got Talent were coming to the Philippines, they laughed it off. "That show is for people with money," one of them said. "Not for boys like us." Miguel laughed too, but that night he couldn't sleep. The idea kept circling his mind like a stubborn tide. His mother noticed the dark circles under his eyes and finally asked what was wrong. When he told her, she didn't laugh. She sat quietly, then placed her hand over his and said, "If you don't try, you'll never know how far your voice can go." Getting to the audition wasn't easy. They sold a few household items to pay for transportation. Miguel practiced everywhere, on the bus, by the roadside, even outside the audition hall while waiting his turn. When his number was called, his legs felt weak, and his heart pounded so loudly he was sure the judges could hear it. Standing on that massive stage, lights blinding him, Miguel suddenly felt very small. The judges asked his name, his age, and why he was there. His voice cracked as he answered, but he managed a shy smile. Then he began to play. The first notes of Hotel California floated through the theater, soft and careful, like a secret being shared. His voice followed, raw and pure, carrying years of quiet struggle in every word. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. As the song built, so did his confidence. He closed his eyes, and for a moment, the stage disappeared. There was no audience, no judges, no pressure, only a boy and a song that had carried him through countless lonely nights. Halfway through the performance, the camera cut to the judges. One leaned forward, eyes wide. Another covered their mouth in disbelief. By the final chorus, tears were rolling freely down their faces. The audience rose to their feet before the last note even faded, applause crashing like waves against the stage. Miguel opened his eyes, stunned, as if waking from a dream he never expected to have. When the judges spoke, their voices trembled. They talked about courage, about pain turned into power, about how music can cross oceans and touch souls. One judge admitted they had never heard the song sung with such vulnerability. Another said Miguel's voice reminded them why they fell in love with music in the first place. When the votes were given, it was unanimous. Miguel had made it through. Backstage, he called his mother with shaking hands. When she heard the cheers in the background, she started to cry, apologizing for not being able to give him more in life. Miguel told her she had already given him everything he needed. That night, a boy who once felt invisible realized that his voice mattered. As the competition continued, Miguel faced new challenges. Critics questioned his song choice, his accent, his lack of formal training. The pressure grew heavier with each round, and there were nights he wanted to quit. But every time doubt crept in, he remembered the cracked guitar, the rain on the tin roof, and his mother's words. He practiced harder, poured more of himself into every performance, and slowly, the fear transformed into strength. In the semifinals, Miguel sang again, not to impress, but to connect. The judges cried once more, and so did the audience. Online, his performance went viral. People from around the world shared his story, saying his voice reminded them of their own struggles and forgotten dreams. Messages poured in from parents, students, workers, all saying the same thing: Miguel gave them hope. By the time he reached the finals, Miguel already felt like a winner. Win or lose, his life had changed. Standing on stage one last time, he looked out at the crowd and smiled, not the shy smile from before, but one filled with gratitude. He sang as if he was thanking the world for listening, for believing, for giving a poor boy from a small village a chance to be heard. When the season ended, Miguel didn't just walk away with applause. He walked away with purpose. Music schools offered scholarships. Record labels called. But the proudest moment came when he returned home and played a small concert in his village. Children sat on the ground, eyes wide, watching someone who looked just like them do something extraordinary. Miguel told them that dreams don't care where you come from, only that you're brave enough to chase them. His story is a reminder that talent can grow in the most unexpected places, that pain can turn into art, and that one song can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because every like and every subscription helps bring more inspiring stories like Miguel's to the world. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice, one moment, and one chance to prove that no dream is too big and no beginning is too small.